hello. So, how are you doing? Are you on a stall here? Are you
No, I'm here as a visitor.
So you're Joe Q Punter?
I am Joe Punter having a day out, and I've seen nothing.
It's gratifying in a way.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Because it's when you do YouTube, it can be a lonely existence.
Oh, it is.
And to come here and actually meet people who watch your stuff and come up and say how much they
like. It's
like.
more than that, because if you're talking to them, they like the stuff you like. So if they come up and have a chat, they're going to be interested in the stuff that I'm interested in. So you're going to have a good natter about something that's cool.
So it's not like talking to boring people at family gatherings. It's like talking to people who just like the same thing.
I've got a picture on video coming out today of what I did over Christmas. So I set up a train set. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to play trains. Just have trains running around in a circle. So do you want to have Christmas dinner? No, I want to play on the trains and just do nothing and talk to nobody. That was Christmas.
Oh, that sounds like a perfect Christmas.
Today's video comes in association with Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Additional support comes from...
This is Clark Railworks, and this is what we do. You'll know us from Ellis Clark Trains, and you'll get the same friendly expertise with us too. We've got a huge range of pre-owned model railways from all your favourite manufacturers, and maybe some you hadn't heard of before. It's the place to come for quality. We don't stock substandard models, and everything we sell is fully tested and photographed by model railway experts. No matter whether you model 00 gauge, N, HO or more, we have sought after models from all around the world with new listings added every weekday. Check out what's available now at clarkrailworks.com, and don't miss out on your latest loco.
How are you anyway?
I'm pretty good, thanks. Yeah, not really. I can't remember what I saw you at Wardle. You were at the.
Oh, yes, I waved past you and.
It was, we were doing a live stream there as well.
You had Potato.
Potato?
Potato Mountain.
Potato Mountain, yes, Minna's Tattoos.
Yeah,
so you here tomorrow? Or
no, I'm just doing a day.
Oh, right.
I'm off playing with the full-size ones tomorrow.
Which ones?
My ones.
Oh, right, what, making them work? Why are you broken still?
None of them work at the moment.
Oh, right.
I've done an oil change on one of them and took the oil filter out and went, this is a fuel filter. So I'm now desperately trying to find a replacement oil filter for it that actually fits where they put a fuel filter previously.
So have they used a fuel filter instead of an oil filter?
Yeah, so it's one of the casket ones, with the spring in it, with the paper element inside, the paper inside a metal thing inside.
So does that mean was it doing the job?
Well, I mean, it's still working. Well, it was working.
Was your oil nice and glittery?
No, it was sludgy. It was sludgy.
Well,
but we dropped it. It was like,
those sort of engines.
Yeah, we dropped it like. So no, it's all right. It's just overdue. When it definitely should have had an oil change a while ago.
Yeah, when you look at it thinking, done 10,000 miles after I thought an oil change was necessary.
Yeah, and then some. It's years overdue. So apart from that, yes, we're going to poke that. But
do you actually know when it last had an oil change, or does nobody know?
The engine was rebuilt with Sir William when Sir William had it. So a while ago.
So you know for certain that a new filter went on then?
Which is the wrong filter.
Right. But could that be just because they couldn't find the right filter?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, a lot of it's because it's a fuel filter, it would just be more fine rather than oil filter.
So actually, it will do a better job.
Unless it gets bunged up, and then I think it goes to the pump. So if it gets totally bunged up, you'll then start the engine oil.
Right, so it's basically like just turning the tap and just running it with no oil, and if it bungs out.
Yeah, bad times.
So how would you know? Do you have an oil pressure gauge?
I do. I always thought that it was defective because it only moves like that much.
And it turned out there just wasn't much pressure.
Well, yes, because it turns out they idle about 10 psi, and the gauge that's fitted to mine goes up to 100.
Oh, right. So it's the wrong gauge?
Yeah, when it was refitted, when it had restoration work, they just put an oil filler. So I've now, to go in, one of the jobs we're going to do is to fit the new one, which goes up to 30. And I suspect then the needle will go plonk into the middle, and you'll have a good idea.
Yes.
So at full chat, you should be about 15.
Right, yes.
And so between 10 and that 130 psi gauge does a lot better than 100 where it's up to 8. So I've always been like, does it have oil? I mean, it sounds healthy.
Yeah. I mean, you'd know, if there was no oil, you'd start to hear like a at the top end.
Well, you might do, but You haven't seen my thing running. It's loud. It's just,
There's a lot of
noise.
other noises going
Yes,
on.
it's just loud. It's glorious, but it's just loud.
So presumably you become desensitised to weird noises with things like. It's not like when you're in a car and you're like, can you hear that?
No, because you hear something new and you're like, what's that? Why is it making this noise? The tone's changed. Why is the tone changed? Why is it now making a new noise?
Damage report.
The damage report machine's exploded.
Maybe we shouldn't have pulled all that stuff because it now sounds differently. We shoved.
It's my favourite.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm good. I'm good.
That's Peachy, by the way, that people at home can't see. That Peachy's just turned around and
I
gone,
realised
It's
I'm here.
Lawrie! Hang on a second. It's the only time you can actually hear anybody else talking on this channel.
what?
I'm not sure who that's actually against. So that's against you.
I don't know, I'm going to go with you.
Yeah. We shoved 3 locos with it a couple of weeks back.
And was that a little bit much?
Oh, she was fine. She had no problems doing it. But afterwards, it's like, the gearbox sounds different now. What have we done?
But do you think you get paranoid because you think, rather than it actually change?
Oh yeah, I am 100% paranoid over it because it's just embarrassing when it breaks. You know, it's not like a car that you can put to the back of your garage and pretend it never happened. It's like it's sat there and everybody's looking at it. What's happened to the engine? So I want to talk about it.
So you often hear about an engine's failed. What actually is failed? 'Cause it's not like catastrophic.
Anything that stops you running is a failure. So it can be as little as chain's broken, or you've got a damaged spring, or there's a crack on something. To the engine's gone woof.
And it's like, this thing, is it not supposed to be on the inside?
That is a bad failure. The only one I kind of go for, if it's fallen off, that's a ground fault.
It's a window in the block is what we called it.
A window in the block, yeah, that's a good one. That would definitely be a failure. But even like running out of fuel, if you run out of fuel, it's a failure. It's a failure.
Yeah, or even things like if there's contamination in the fuel that's kind of just blocked up your.
With the new one, it was a video to come out, but we that stopped running. We're like, I've only just bought it. What's wrong with it? So chased the fuel back. Like there's no fuel coming to the pump. Got to the filter and just like this absolutely solid fuel filter.
So what? It's like they've been just tipping in like the contents of the deep fat fryer or something.
I don't know when it was last changed. So my 165 loaf, you don't know, was bought with help of the community last year.
That was the one that was going to get scrapped if you didn't buy it.
Yeah, it was. There were people there looking for one. It was up for sale for like January, and nobody went for it. And eventually, the guy was like, "I'm going to scrap it. I want the money." So we went in like.
And what was it? Because I seem to recall that you actually got it started relatively easily.
It actually went really well.
Yeah.
It was sold with. They said it had an air leak in the gearbox, but the way these things work is.
So is it an epicyclic gearbox?
Oh, that was unpleasant. Okay.
It's come to violate you.
No, on that it's a standard 4-speed gearbox, but it's an air operated with an air operated 2 conical clutches. So they force it to get put together. When it starts, because there's no clutch, for say you plug it into gear and you've got drive.
Yeah.
If you were to just drop it into drive, take the brake off, you'll just zoom away, wheels spin, and everybody gets thrown off their seats.
Right.
First, in the same ratio as first gear, there is start, which doesn't force the clutch together properly.
So it kind of holds it apart.
Well, it lets it slip. It just doesn't. You've got all that air pressure pushing it in, and it vents some of the air pressure, so it doesn't push it as hard.
Right.
Which means the clutch can slip. So you can sit there with the brake on, the clutch slipping, slowly take the brake off, so it slowly takes up the power, and then as soon as you start doing something. You drop it into first, it stops leaking, the clutch goes, and the thing goes. And that was sold as a fault because when you put it into gear, it goes.
So if you're not familiar with it, things which are normal
Yes.
seem. Yeah, because I mean,
That was the first thing I learned
to
drive.
my untrained ears, that sounds like what a strange way to design a locomotive.
Isn't it,
It's
darling?
like I know. Let's make it really difficult to drive and really easy to break
drive.
things.
But
Yeah, once you know.
Bearing in mind that we have at Whitwell, we've got Agecroft number 3, which is an RSH.
Oh, the steam locomotive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that used to
Built
work
with-
there, mate.
But, oh, sweet. Yeah, so was
Yeah.
it pretty sure?
Yeah.
So she is a year younger than the 165.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't quite appreciate it. The steam locomotives were still being built quite late.
Ruston, genius, because Ruston had gone, internal combustion is the way forward, and we're building diesel. So So William McAlpine is the same age as H-Craft number 3. And it's bonkers, isn't it? Like, internal combustion was there, proven to work, and people are still turning out steam.
I think in some respects, though, it's down to whether fuel was cheap or even just expertise.
Change it, wasn't it? It was a massive change of the steam engine, the locomotive, to this newfangled diesel.
Yeah, I mean, there was some degree of like, oh, this is old-fangled, but get rid of it. But, if you were working at, say, a colliery, coal is plentiful because you're just digging it out of the ground.
Yeah.
So it would make sense. And, and obviously some of the final steam locomotives in revenue service in the UK were places like Donington Power Station because they had lots
It worked into the 90s. That was in my lifetime. There was steam running.
I remember watching that on the news when they worked for the final time and they were making a big thing about it. And I'm like, didn't even know they were still using them.
It was they got taken over by Powergen in 1991. And my understanding is Powergen basically turned up as new management and went, right guys, what we did? What on earth is that?
What the hell is even that?
Is this like some kind of special day? What do you mean, it's just a work day?
Yeah, because pretty much after that ended, I'm fairly sure that's how it went down. And Stormy did a model of it way back of a pub in the Castle Donington.
Right. And it's quite a blue.
Yes, so the frames were.
There was two of them.
There were two, one and two. I've seen one of them in preservation. I think they're both in preservation.
I would assume it's surviving that late guarantees them.
And yellow rods.
Right.
It's quite good. It's garish.
But also, I mean, like places like Bickershaw Colliery were still running them into the early to mid 80s. Oh. It'll be a scam. We could have a laugh and like, I'll just give the phone to you and you can go, hello.
I got one the other day. They phoned up about my phone contract from a completely different company. I was like, oh yeah, how much do you pay a month? £500. Silence.
Do you, or were you just yanking the chain?
Yanking the chain, yeah. I don't know, £500. It's full stop. They let you spend per month. I was like, no, just silence, and he just told me to and hung up. But I thought that's not very professional.
Yeah.
So I phoned back. They didn't pick up.
Yeah, funny that.
That's strange.
I like to lead them along. Some of my favourites are pretending that I don't have a phone. And they're just seeing how long it takes them to twig that they're talking to me on the phone that I don't have.
I like it when they like your computers like so. I'm looking out of my window.
Yes, I can see my garden.
One of my greatest moments was way back when me and my brother were still living at home. We had on the old landlines, they were handheld. You could transfer the call.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so, this is Microsoft. Oh, hello. He started. This is Jerry Anderson of Thunderbirds from Microsoft. I'm like, oh, hi Jerry. Yeah, I was chatting about you at the Water Tower yesterday. Yeah, how's Bob? So back and forth, pretend to work there, and something. Oh, what's this? That, and the other. So I don't know. I'll pass you over to the other department. So my brother had been listening. We just transfer the call back and forth between different departments, but we wasted about an hour of time back when we were young.
See, I know. Do you remember when we used to get cold calls about Windows? And I had some guy rang up, and he said, "Have you got double glazing?" And I went, I'll just go and check. And I just put the phone down on the side and I went off, went about my day. And a couple of hours later, I wonder if he's still there. Hello?
Yes, it turns out I do.
Turns out I have Windows. Well, they try and sell you a conservatory and you string them along and eventually go, I didn't know you could fit a conservatory on a caravan.
Or canal boat.
Yeah, I'm on the 6th floor flat.
It's going to be interesting installation, but go for it.
Yeah.
Times.
Oh, good times.
So were we meant to be talking about model railways? Because we've talked about real railways, one-to-one scale.
No, that was very interesting.
You should come over and see it at some point.
Yeah, Whitwell and Reepham.
Yeah,
that's sort of like a long way away from
it is Norfolk, it is near Norwich. There are transport connections if you can walk.
Yeah, there's the A11.
Yeah, you should come over and have a look at the 48 once I've put
So the Whitwell and Reepham, that's actually at the station. It's what was once the station on the railway line.
Yes, on the Muddle and Go Nowhere.
So how much track do you actually have there?
There's a quarter of a mile at the moment. So the track layout in the yard is more or less how it would have been back in the day.
Right.
Although the shed we have now for locos and for restoration was the good shed. So there wasn't initially a railway was in there. You've got 2 big windows on the side, which used to be the loading docks. So you'd bring your wagon in and you could offload into the drive where a horse and cart road vehicle would come in and distribute the goods further, whereas now it's a shed. So that's it, and the yard is more or less how it would have been. And then the big plan is hopefully at some point going to go to the station.
Because I had a look at you with Google's satellite,
You know what? If it's creepy to use the internet, military satellites, and robot aircraft to find a house, then fine, I'm creepy.
and because there's no track between the platforms, is there? And if you go further, there's a bridge that's missing. Am I right?
Yeah, that's jump that. Sorry.
But is there enough track? Can you go far the other way?
The track bed is all still there from just outside Norwich all the way round to Wroxham, I think, on the Beer Valley Railway. So
Right.
it's called Marriott's Way now, and the whole track bed is there as a.
And does that include the bit which used to be the tightest curve?
Yes, that's still there. So that's what I'd love to see. So I'd love to see the railway go back from Whitwell, where we are, to Reepham. Sorry, it's spelled Reepham, but it's Reepham because Norfolk. And I'd love to see the railway go back there because it'd be 6 miles, which is a good run. But if you miss the train, you're just like, if you just walk for 10 minutes up there, you'll get to the other station and you'll beat the train.
That's like at Liscard, where they have like a high level and a low level,
exactly.
but the train has to go this huge loop to get down between the two.
Like
So it's
that, and
actually
it's
quicker
brilliant.
to walk down the stairs and wait for the train.
Which I just think, as a heritage railway, it would be perfect. Just like, you don't want to go back on the train? Don't worry, if you just walk down there, 10 minutes, you'll be back.
We'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, and you'll beat the train. Also, I love the idea of running 2 services and being like, just over there on the other side of that field, there's the other train just waving.
Because it's a really tight curve.
It's silly. I did a video on it, and it's like I put the drone up and flew,
And it
and
was
you're
actually, it was a working railway up until the 80s,
yeah.
wasn't it?
So originally you had the Motherland Go Nowhere, the middle of the Great North, the joint railway, and you had the Great Eastern, and they crossed. They didn't intersect. One went over the other.
Because that's what it tended to be, is different railway companies went, no, we want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so they went over one another, which meant that you couldn't take a train from Whitwell to Reepham.
Yes.
They both saw different networks in different ways. From Whitwell, you could go up to the North Norfolk Railway, as it is now, to go up to Colt. And from Reepham, you can go across to the Mid Norfolk Railway over at Deerham. So when the Middle and the Great Northern closed and the Great Eastern closed, they realised that rather than taking it all up, there was a cement works at Lenway, which is 1 station down.
Yes.
And if they put a nice tight curve in and join the 2 up, it would be a really good way to move cement from one side around the other side, and also a great way to move stuff around Norwich. You would leave Norwich and go up.
Yeah.
Because I think Norwich had 3 stations at one point.
Something like that.
Yeah,
There were
the
quite a
city,
few.
Yeah. So glorious. That was the plan.
And I mean, sort of like in the rationalisation, the rundown of the railways, they actually did a lot of that, where rail lines that were never actually connected got connected by a new piece of railway, simply so they could shut a huge chunk of railway rather than go a much longer and
It made total sense, especially for going round Norwich, to just put in the curve. Because if not, you had to go all the way around the country.
Well, it's like at the Great Central Railway. There's their cord, which goes to the northern part of the Great Central Railway. That is not an original piece of railway. That was built so that they could close the bit from Weekday Cross Junction and not have to run all the way down from
Give the wheels a clean as well.
So it wasn't unheard of. But I mean, the tightness on that curve, that's that must have squealed when they went round.
There was definitely a speed restriction of it.
I can imagine, and a lot of flange lubricators.
It must have been. It must have been mad. The best thing about if Reepham ever happened is it never carried passengers. So that was always great. So if you ever put a heritage railway back, you'd be doing the first. You'd be the first.
Could you actually get coaching stock round that curve?
Of course you can. You can get anything round.
But will it not wear out the flanges really quickly?
Yeah, you want to lubricate something. I mean, it will go round. That wasn't the question. How long will it last? It will go round.
There's somebody there with a big tub of grease in a brush
just push.
in between trains.
Yeah.
No, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. So how did you end up at Whitwell and Reepham? Is that near where you live, or?
And that's about an hour and a half away. So it's not.
But is
not
that
local.
the closest?
No, my local is the Mid Suffolk. So I've been part of Mid Suffolk for definitely 16, 17 years now.
Right. Okay.
I am an old hand.
You're an elder statesman.
I am part of the furniture.
You can genuinely go.
Yeah,
with your
okay.
beard.
Well, back in my day, when I started
I
the railway...
remember when this was all fields. It still is
Yeah,
fields.
yeah, I remember when we didn't have a pit. That's how back long it was. I remember the early days when we didn't have a pit.
I'm old, Gandalf.
I remember in my early days as a cleaner with a driver being slightly mean. I remember being sent underneath at the end of the season to drain the tank. So between the
You'd
balance
have been
pipes...
quite young at this point.
yeah, and thin as well.
Yes.
So
yeah.
no pit, clambered underneath it, and saddle tanks. You've got two pipes that come down and meet in the middle to balance the water. And to drain the water at the end so it didn't freeze and split the tank, Muggins went in with a spanner and did it.
I got a face full of water.
Well, I got quite damp, yeah, which isn't unpleasant, and then we got a pit soon after that, which made it a lot more pleasant. But yeah, so I've been there. So I went up to Whitwell for a gala, and they were all like, "Sorry, you've come to the gala." I was like, and pretty much became friends with the guys, and
They sucked you into their...
I started kind of volunteering a bit there because I really enjoyed the company. And when I got the scrap roster, it's like,
This is the one that you retrieved from the scrapyard that everybody assumed had been scrapped, but the scrapyard
Yes.
had never quite got round to
yes.
scrapping
Do you know why they haven't scrapped it?
because it was too expensive to cut it
Yes.
up compared to what its scrap metal.
Literally wasn't worth cutting it up.
Because it kind of means that people don't quite realise just how thick and chunky.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the thing's
It's
bulletproof.
it's 7 and a bit tons of scrap metal.
Of dense metal,
And-
which would mean that you'd have to employ a guy with a lot of oxyacetylene to spend a lot of time
Yep.
literally whittling it into
Yep.
smaller pieces.
And it's just not worth it. There's not enough
Yeah.
scrap to make it worthwhile. It wasn't worth it, so they just parked it at the back of the yard. I mean, I've done a video on what's in that scrapyard, and there's loads of vehicles like this. They've
Because
just
there's
been
like those ancient, with the Deutz road rollers.
yeah, they're not. The engine is a Deutz, I think, in it. It's a two-cylinder at the back. I can't remember who made it. We've discussed it, then. Yeah. But they're
And I
there.
take it they're there for the same reason.
it's just not
that
worth cutting
it's
up.
not cost effective.
One
to
of
cut
them's
them.
10 ton, the other's 8 ton,
Right.
and it's not worth the
But there
effort.
was also like other railway wheels there.
Yeah.
And are they able to tell you where all this stuff came from?
A lot of it, yeah, they're quite good at saying, "Oh yeah, that because the family behind it had a farm, so a lot of the tractors came from the farm."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh yeah, that's blown a hole. That's got a viewing window on the side of the block."
Yes, you can have a look inside.
Yeah, you can see the rest of it's in really good
I mean, I'll be
condition.
honest. On my father's side, they're all farmers, and to be honest, I find that farmers just tend to break things and park them, and then when they break the next one, they park it next to
Yes.
the previous one they break, and you end up with this long row.
Oh, but it was
and you-
fine. But they're fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good tractor. That's fine. I tried to buy one off a farmer near where my
They
dad
don't
is.
like to sell, do they?
Oh, he went, well, that's a good tractor, that. I was running. I was like, it wasn't. My dad says you borrowed his tractor when that tractor broke, and he hasn't moved since. I know that doesn't work.
Yes. You're saying it works? Go on, start it. A day.
Yeah, so that conversation fell apart quite quickly when you go, it didn't work, did it? You didn't like that. Anyway. So we acquired this one they hadn't put up with the help of the community.
So originally when looking at it, the idea was that you wanted the wheels, because the
just
wheels on your other one were worn.
Yeah, I like that.
So you then it kind of snowballed a bit.
I made mistakes, so I'll be honest. The idea was initially to
Drinks were drunk.
yeah, I was high on Coca-Cola and a couple of cups of tea. It was
One thing led to another.
well, yeah, I've been looking for a set of wheels for this. Knew there was one in the scrapyard, so I assumed it would have been cut up by now because the last photo was about 10 years old. So I assumed it was long gone and thought maybe there'll be a set of wheels still.
Yeah, maybe the reels they just never got round to
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, it's don't ask, don't get.
And so they came back and went, oh yeah, we still got that. Yeah, it's still there. I was like, okay. So I went to see it, and as soon as I saw it, it's like, I love you. I'm going to save you. I want one. And that was how it was.
Because it's not got its bodywork. I presume the bodywork was taken off to make it fit on the scrap lorry that brought it to the
On the skip lorry.
Yes, the skip lorry. You've seen the skip lorry, and yeah, I can imagine that there was.
They just kept cutting bits off until the skip lorry could pick it up.
So presumably they started with the bodywork.
Yeah, body came up to make it so it'd go underneath.
Yeah.
And then they just kept cutting things like the buffers off and cut a couple of holes in the frames, put the chains in.
And have you found all the bits? Did the bits make it to the scrapyard that they cut off?
The body was kicking around, apparently.
But that's only thin metal, so it would eventually just rust away to nothing.
The buffers, I would like the buffers, but I don't know where they are. The rest of it, but because I own the 48, I walked around this one like, everything's on the engine, everything's on the gearbox, all the controls are there. I'm going to start poking things like, this is complete. It's just the tin.
How good a condition is things like the internals of the engine and the gearbox?
It got a new engine 2 or 3 years before the works closed.
So
and
it's
it is
actually
mint.
so it's low engine hours
It
engine.
is mint. We've had it open, we've opened it up, it's all free and it moves now. And it is like a new engine inside. We were like,
So how long before you try and start it?
I got to get some new piston rings, which has been more of a challenge. I can find them for £70 a piston, but there are 2 versions of piston ring for the engine. I've got to double check they're the right ones. If not, it's £150 for new pistons with rings. Then a friend of mine, Jay, who owns another Ruston 48, is doing the heads for me, and we hope to have those back this summer. So if I pull the finger out...
When you say doing the head, so that's just like the valve guides, skim the head, new gasket, stick it all back together?
Yeah, I'm organising the gaskets, but it's basically sort out any corrosion on one of them, check the valves, regrind the valves, and replace the rockers and the springs.
Because presumably most of the cylinders would have been sealed, but there'll be one that will be
Yeah.
slightly ajar, and that's the one that the
Yeah.
moisture gets into
Yeah.
as it sits in that one
Yeah.
position.
Luckily, he had a spare engine with spare heads, so guess what's happened there?
Mix and match.
Yeah, so I've got a new head coming to replace the one that's fitted.
And how long do you think it'll be before this is able to run under its own power?
If everything goes well and I don't acquire anything new and don't get distracted and and don't have a channel to run, I hope by the end of this year it should be engine back and frames and running. We put a week aside to have just a hard look at the gearbox in the summer to try and get that sorted. I hope the frames are now stripped, we're ready to start putting stuff back in frames. So I hope by the end of this year, while the engine back in it, the engine will make engine noises.
I mean, that would be quite a moment, I'm guessing, to be able to chug up and down in what you found in the scrapyard.
I will absolutely go to pieces. I'm not entirely sure how I'll deal with it.
There might be a little bit of blubbing.
Oh, there'll be a lot. I think there'll be a full breakdown. To be honest.
Yeah.
It will just be an amazing thing, and an amazing thing that so many people got involved and supported it, and got involved with this idiot stream.
And what?
It's definitely an idiot stream, isn't it? Let's be honest.
No, we're on TMC's channel. It's upmarket.
But they don't sell 1-to-1 scale.
But if they did,
if they did, you could get the weathering service.
Today's video is sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre, your first choice for finding all of the models featured today at the best possible price at the link in the description. TMC also offers custom weathering and renumbering to any model, be it brand new or pre-owned. Check out their full pre-owned listings too, where you can be assured of quality as every item is screened and graded by professional staff. TMC, the Model Centre, your first choice for all aspects of modelling.
now, one of the things that I've spotted you turning up on is you posting about a certain Ruston that's plinth at the docks in Liverpool.
Oh yeah, I don't know who owns that.
I don't think anybody seems to.
No, when I was looking to buy a Ruston start off with, it all started. You've got the filter here to go back in time for park music. Yeah, that one. It all started. I saw an advert traction ad for Ruston 48.
And which one would that be?
That's the-
Is that the one that Ollie bought?
No, he's got an 88. He's got the side
Right,
figure.
yeah.
It's the one. It was called Gower Princess. It's now the one at the West Somerset Railway. They use it for yard judge at Willerton.
Right, okay.
And I agreed to buy that, and was like, attention, please.
Thank you.
I keep listening out for my car registration plate. Could the owner of a flaming mess that's been stomped repeatedly on?
It's got better. So I saw it and agreed to go have a look at it, but I was working away for about 2 months, and so they agreed. We did a deal, and then they messaged me a week later saying we sold something else. So I'd kind of thought I'd like a 48. 48 would suit mid Suffolk. It's about the right size for one person to look after.
Yeah.
So after that, I started kind of messaging people to try and find out where they all were in the hopes of finding one for sale. And
Because there were quite a lot of these things.
oh yeah, there were. The Industrial Railway Society list that was 15 years old had about 40 something of them in preservation.
So they're ones that are known to survive.
Yeah.
But does that include the one that you got from the scrapyard?
It did not. No, mine was not that list.
So yours is now number 51.
Yes, although
Have they
since
updated their list?
I don't know, but I found 500 scrapped since, and one of them just does not exist. I put in the museum that it was meant to be at. No Google returns, and you're like,
what, for the museum?
Yeah.
So the museum.
the museum
just
does not exist on apparently to Google. So yeah, there was a couple I couldn't find. A couple of them that went. There's one that was called Swansea Jack, which was restored, looked beautiful. Went to what's the Narragansett Railway got taken up? I forgot, in Wales. What's the Narragansett Railway closed? The railway got taken up. Big scandal. I want to say Tethy, but it's not Tethy.
Is that the one that's? I can't remember its name.
Yeah, my brain's gone.
That one.
But that one.
Yeah,
but it went there, and then it disappeared. And so this people thinking they scrapped it, weighing for money, because obviously they were in trouble.
Right.
But it was lovely. But that's another one. It's just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Wouldn't that be a shame if it had been restored?
Yeah, it was lovely at one point. But so yes, so I kept looking and emailed Sir William as part of that to say, do you still have one? I'm making a list, trying to update them.
Is that the one that? Because I know I got to ride in one at Forley Hill.
Because the 48 was in mine. Yeah.
Was it black?
It was red.
Red.
They have a black panels, so similar size, but
Probably that one. I've got a video with me in the cab
Oh, you have to show me.
trying not to touch anything, so it's like really frightened that it would trundle off. And you've seen that film.
it's scary.
If you
I've driven up it. It's scary.
Yeah, I can imagine going down is probably a little bit.
The first time I turned up at Wardle Hill, I was like, I am clearly in the wrong place because nobody would put a railway here. And
It's
you go,
really, isn't it?
yeah, you're like, this is the wrong place. And you see the railway, and the railway just goes, it is.
It's basically like if somebody had a very hilly garden and went, just lay track anyway.
It's terrifying, genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
So,
It's the steepest adhesion work gradient in the UK.
yeah, the second steepest in the world. It's only beaten by Cass,
Where's that?
America. And they have shades that go up it.
Right, fair enough.
I think
Is it?
Cass is 1 in 12 and they're 1 in 13.
Yeah, because
And that's steep in a car, Jen.
isn't that steeper than what parts of the Cromford and High Peak were?
Yeah. It's truthfully, so like for an adhesion railway, not rack and pinion or anything, adhesion.
Yeah.
Stupidly steep.
But when I said the 03, they not long since got the 03 shunter, one of the Berryport cut down ones, and you could hear it coming from miles away.
yeah.
It was really, I thinking, God, somebody's thrashing that. And it crawls up the hill, and it's like,
Do you know what the driving exam there is? You have to be able to restart the train in bad conditions on the steepest part of the gradient without slipping.
okay,
That's your driver's exam.
okay.
That's good.
So what do we?
Howard wants another YouTube channel. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we talked about. Actually, I had Howard sat there a little while ago, and lots of people really quite like it. I think because you didn't do any of the series of Great Model Railway Challenge.
I was meant to.
Were you one of the
we
teams
pulled out.
lined up? Oh, so you pulled out.
We pulled out of series 1. We were meant to be the film challenge, but they kept changing the rules and kept changing what was going on. And in the end, we went, "This is ridiculous," and we walked out. And we just said,
Yeah, you weren't the only ones. I dropped out of Series 1 as well, but then they let me back in for Series 2.
I regret not doing it because it would have been really good fun. But
I think Series 1 they were finding their feet because nobody knew what to expect.
Nobody expects.
The Great Model Railway Challenge.
And so it was a little bit more pedestrian. People thought, oh, we'll build a model railway. But actually, you're not building a model railway, you're building a prop for a TV show. So in Series 2, people just went wild with it, and it was great fun. So I did Series 2, and I know that they were casting for Series 3, and then COVID happened.
I'd be up for series 3. Yeah, if they ever did it again.
As far as I've been in touch with the producers, they tried to sell the format abroad. They made one in, I think, the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
So there's actually an overseas series of Great Model Railway Challenge, but made elsewhere. And I was involved for a while with trying to sell the format to the US. And it was like...
Great Model Railroad Challenge.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we had people in the industry who were interested, but TV companies were like, yeah, can't be bothered with that. And so it never went anywhere. But the TMC YouTube challenge went down really well, and it was great fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was hilariously good fun. The best thing was just like hanging out with you guys. Like, it was just.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say.
It was like the whole way through. Although a lot of it looked on camera like we were it was just a laugh the whole way through. But there was an awful lot of taking the mick out of each other.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, it was one of those things where you're there and you're thinking, this is just so much fun. How am I here? This is too much fun for the likes of. We thought that because you're a much bigger YouTuber than me, we were putting this really nice holiday home. I'm sure
you had the lovely place.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure we've got Lawrie's place. We're not important enough to have this. And we had like proper ensuite bedrooms. We had a kitchen. We
didn't have any of that.
We had a lounge. We had a view out over the moors and stuff. I mean, like, this must be Laurie's place because we're just schmucks.
I think there was a mistake here.
Yes, yeah, because you got bundles into the B&B.
Yeah, we at the B&B. They tried to put one of the cameramen in one of the caravans with. We think nobody's staying here.
Yeah, if somebody comes in the night, just
tell them you know the management. You're like,
it's funny you should say that. Actually, quite a few years ago, so we tried that Europe thing that's very popular. So we ended up staying in a teepee, and about 3 a.m, somebody tried to come in because they'd been told the wrong teepee. And it's like there's nothing more getting you wide awake than somebody
trying to get
bumbling into your teepee in the middle of the night.
I would have thought that was quite terrifying.
Well, I think they were quite terrified to find there was people there. Oh, and we've got Wardle Restorations in. Hopefully our Rustons will meet sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Oh, a duel! How very delightful!
We have a plan. Don't we, Ollie? We have a plan.
Yeah, but who's transporting their Ruston to where?
Mine's the easier one to move. Because it's half the weight.
So does that mean you can just get a flatbed with a high ab and just sort of go...
Yep, as locomotives go to move, it is so much easier.
Because you've got your Class 2 license for the fire engine, but does that mean you can actually use it and literally move your own stuff around?
If I had a truck, yes, but trying as a private individual, hiring a lorry is a challenge.
I tried that at Salford Van Hire once. I had a friend who was he was a bit of a wheeler and a dealer, and he bought 26 pallets of military surplus from the MOD and needed to move it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, I'll drive the truck, but it sounds fun. But could we hire one? Could we have?
No, they won't let you. You have to be a company.
Yeah, the thing was, the guy at Salford Van Hire knew who the hell I was because I'd go in there all the time picking up trucks for work. As soon as I went and said, could I hire one myself? No. But you know who I am, yes? And you won't let me have one?
No, they won't. We were. That was the single greatest thing I think that Charles has ever done was coming up with the idea of using the discount code off the email.
Do you reckon that'll work? There's a nice email. I do. It ends today. Applied. 143. We can buy more stuff.
So we returned online to top up our basket and get a little bit more.
We could not believe that worked. It's like, we've already got a discount code for this thing. Can we use this? It stacks. 10% off.
I don't know whether that was meant to, or I think it was just...
Howard was really confused when we told him it worked. But when we got our paperwork through, it's like, there it is, it's the 10% off using the TMC email.
I'm just saying that we didn't use half the stuff we got. I'm still amazed that you spent so much.
Yeah, and achieved so little.
Do you
know what I'm genuinely amazed about?
Yeah.
Like, all things considered. Like, we stayed obviously all night to get the...
Yeah, I know.
And we were like... We've done a really good job of this. Like, it's going to be so much fun.
Because you did that smug walk going in, and we just looked over, and then just got straight up to it, and you were like so crestfallen that we hadn't panicked.
You did panic. We saw the look of...
No, we didn't. We went over there and went... It's awfully blue.
But how quickly you guys turned that around? Because we thought it was going to be kind of flat and boring. Because that's what we thought. It would be flat and boring based on what we would have done if we hadn't done that. And then your thing just erupted and we're like,
you know why? Because
you know what you're doing?
We know what the products are. So actually, and the thing was, it wasn't that expensive. We bought a piece of scene craft. It's like a solid foam, and you cut it up. And it because it's solid, you don't need to do any of this like hair drying. But plaster bandage, no plaster bandage roll. It's like under a £5.
We kind of thought that we were going to keep the money elsewhere. And to be fair, we did spend the money.
Can I just a plaster bandage?
Too expensive.
£5.
Too expensive.
£5.
That would take us £5 over, Jen. As you can see, we used all of our stuff.
Yeah, but you spent it all on like white metal figures and stuff.
Yeah, and they would love it. Including that horse kit, which is the worst kit I've ever seen. It was good fun. So
you could have had a good night's sleep with a plaster bandage.
We could have done.
Yeah, have some books. there you go. Have one. Oh, cool.
You've been on the show. We'd like to present you with
Oh, yeah. Did we ever give you one of those before?
No, I've never had one.
We've never given him one before.
I feel very rejected.
You know, it gives you actually, that gives you a discount at TMC as well. Yes.
I saw at, I've forgotten the club now, at Febex, there was a club, and they had Monday Club signs up, and they also had Model U's figures, and I went, oh yeah, they had you, they had you, they had Craig.
No, you.
No, complained bitterly.
Have you done one that's suitable for putting into a Ruston?
No, I need to go back and redo it.
Yeah, it's just because I think Ollie was in earlier on, and I've just reviewed the Akira scale Ruston, and I did comment that yourself and Ollie would be the perfect driver figures as long as one is available.
So I need. I didn't realise when I did those that the windows don't open and the doors don't open.
So you're like this.
I think I'm like that, reaching for the control, looking out the window, and it's like.
And you'll just look like you're leaning on the glass.
Yes, I just look like I'm mid falling over. It hasn't worked well.
Look like you've made a mistake.
Well, I mean that's true. I've made many mistakes. I have an entire channel dedicated to
you've done all right, actually. I mean, I first discovered you with, I've told you this before, the dumper truck that you tried to squeeze into, was it a Mercedes Sprinter or something?
Ford Transit.
Was it Ford Transit? Oh yeah, I knew it was one of those white van machines.
Proper van. Yes.
Yeah. Although the Sprinters,
they're nice, yeah.
They are actually quite nice. You can see why they don't hang about in the roads. It's very easy to go faster.
Not like a Transit, which just chucks along slowly.
Yeah, and my dad's first van was a Ford Transit. It was diesel, but it didn't have a turbo, so you can imagine how slow that was.
Chuck.
It keep on chugging, but just not very fast. It went above 60. It went really steady on now. Steady on. But no, that was how I actually first discovered you. But was that how early on in the YouTube career was that?
Oh wow! I was still working a job, so that's how long ago it was.
Yes, it was a work van.
Yeah.
Did they have anything to say? There's an awful lot of straight marks inside this.
No, it fit quite well. I went to the boss and was like, "So, can I borrow the van?" And he was like, "Sure." When I was like, "Tonight, I need to move stuff." He was like, "What do you need to move?" I was like, "That."
So in his head, he's thinking, Laurie's moving the sofa.
Yes.
Oh no.
I just looked at me, and just went, "I don't want to know." So,
yeah, but don't ask any questions. I won't be told a lie.
Yeah, very much.
So, how was that a fairly early video?
Oh yeah, that was. I think we were monetized because we got demonetized for that video.
Why?
Because I go, it should sound like this. Now listen carefully to the words here, guys. I went, it will sound like this. Fut. Notice the t at the end of that. And YouTube didn't think that at all. Yeah. YouTube said I was saying something else.
Yeah, have you noticed, the thing about YouTube is it tells you that you were doing something that you weren't, and there's no option to go, oh no, we weren't. It's not like a pantomime. It just goes, and we're going to demonetize you, and goodbye.
So
and it's like,
no, I had the option, and I went to Nuclear with it and said, no, listen very carefully. And they did. They remonetized it. But by that time, you've missed like 30,000 views.
Yeah, it's like all of that viral thing has been and gone, and you basically you end up with a few pence at the end. Yeah. Cheers, YouTube.
Thank you, Lord and Master YouTube. We say nothing bad about you.
Yes. All praise
Oh,
the
hail the
algorithm.
algorithm.
All praise. Yes, and
We've been doing this too long, haven't we, John?
yes, we
We've been
have.
doing this too long.
Do you find that, like, just at the point that you think, like, right, I think I've finally got a handle on the algorithm on what works and what doesn't, it sits there and goes, change
No,
places,
I never
and
think I've
everything,
done that.
and, like, things that you're doing, which were like going stratospheric, suddenly just die on their feet, and you're like, I thought we got on.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't like people saying TT120.
Does it? No.
I haven't tried it.
Apparently, if you put an angry face on a post, like somebody posts something and you've got an angry face, it actually YouTube takes, Facebook takes that as a almost like a downvote, and it will start to suppress that post in the algorithm.
Oh,
I don't know whether this is true.
I'm going onto the Jenny Kirk Facebook page.
No, angry face, angry face, angry. But you don't know if I'm just yanking your chain, and it just goes interaction.
Oh, this is a very clever double bluff, Walnut.
Yes. I mean, did you find life before social media better, worse? How do you find being a superstar?
It's going to sound horrendous, but it's kind of just been such a natural progression. It's just life.
It just kind of happened.
It's just, I just smile. I think if I ever try to truly process it and talk about it, I think I won't be able to. So I just kind of go, yeah, this is how everything is, and just smile away with it. People are really nice and come up and have a chat.
Do you find that you have to be really careful about shouting insults? Like when you're driving your car, you can't lean out the window like, "Did you buy your driver?" Because you never know whether.
I keep thinking this. I cut somebody up the other day and it just
They leant out the window and went, "Hi, Lawrie, you drive like a complete."
They were driving slowly, and I wanted to make progress, so I went round them and dipped in front of them.
Were you in your white van by any chance?
No, I was in the Mini. The Mini is fine for it, but
it's slippy, aren't they?
You know when you've done a piece of driving, you think that was not my best piece of driving.
Yeah, you think I will now try and expunge this from my mind.
Yeah, it was one of those bits of I probably shouldn't have done that, but I was in a rush, and somebody messaged like, "Lawrie, did you overtake me here?" And I was like, "No." It's like, 'cause it wasn't a very clever piece of driving, was it? I was like, "I'm sorry." So you have to. It's weird though that the kind of concept of being recognised. Do you know the best one today? I got recognised twice at the car park, getting out of the car, but didn't even get into the show. And this is just. It's cool. It's so cool.
But you get recognised about town as well.
Yeah.
So you'll be like trying to decide which brand of bog roll to buy, and somebody goes, "Oh, hello, oh, I see you use Ajax."
As weird as it sounds, and big-headed as it sounds, you kind of expect to be recognised here because you're amongst.
Yes, this is like
these are our people.
And the same, when I go to model shops, it's always it's rarer elsewhere, but it does happen.
The worst one I've had with is I got stopped by a gentleman who went into the gents to use a loo at motorway services.
Did he sidle up to the urinal next to you?
And so I've finished at the urinal, and he goes to shake my hands,
and you're like,
and I'm like, not in the public, outside.
It's like, dude, literally, read the room.
It's just like, it's lovely to be recognised and everything, but not here. Just. So
I can imagine. Look, you're like.
Yeah, that was a good one. I get recognised more and more as I'm out and about, like supermarkets going about. People are like, "Oh, I didn't realise you lived around here and stuff." It's just, it's mad.
Dude, come together. I didn't know you shopped in the supermarket. It's like, I'm human, you know. I do have a requirement for tins of beans.
The best one I've had recently was I was helping my dad. His van died, and so I helped him get it over to the garage. I looked at it and went, "This is knackered, it's never going to go," but still wanted a second opinion. It takes to be out. So we're at the supermarket near said garage having bacon sandwiches. Cheers for helping. And this bloke comes up and says, "Oh, Lawrie, how the Ruston is." And my dad doesn't really understand much. He doesn't understand what I do.
Yeah.
And so this guy had a long chat with him, 15 minutes chat with the guy, and then afterwards, loving me chat. He said, "Dad, who's that?" And I'm like, "I've got a clue." "What do you mean you don't know who he is?" It's like, "Oh, he's just a follower." And I think for Dad, that was the moment.
And they're like, "But they seem to know you."
Yeah, it's like, the guy watches my videos.
Zoe found that really weird when that started happening, and because you kind of have this patter, don't you, where you go, "Oh, how you doing? Oh, it's great to see. And yeah, you have to. You
mean you don't remember everybody, Jen?
No.
No, I remember everybody.
But then afterwards she said, so who were they? It's like,
I've got a clue.
I presume they watched the YouTube.
I think the weirdest one at the moment, so I've got Tom and Loz helping me today, so they're out filming the hall.
Oh, I love that when you have people to do that.
Oh, yeah,
sorry, more filming.
I felt a stare in the back of my neck, but I didn't.
Yep. I don't. It's the daggers are cutting through you.
A certain finger.
Yes, I'll have one more, please.
So I got my so the team's out doing a sterling job. Hopefully doing a sterling job.
Yes, more filming.
But that gets you recognised. I mean, we're all wearing matching shirts today. We're dressed accordingly. But that's the weirdest thing for them. Because they're now people are like, oh, Loz, it's really good to see you. Or, oh, Tom,
yeah. She gets that. Like, we got the cupboard market, but she starts getting recognised, and she found that weird. It's like, why are they talking to me?
Yeah,
and it's like because you appear in the show.
So one of my mates, one of the guys, he works for a delivery company, and he delivered something. They opened the door and they're like, Loz!
Oh, like, do I know you?
How's the fire engine? He's like, so he was like, and the guy goes, well, no, I've been watching you on YouTube, and I've got a phone, like, you'll never guess what, I got recognised. I'm like, oh, it's cool, it's happening to other people out in the wild.
See, I got recognised at a location shoot for a Hollywood film.
Oh, nice.
And you'd like to think, like, yeah, Tom Cruise just came up and went, love the show.
You're a massive fan of the channel, Jen.
But no, it wasn't. It was one of the Sparkies.
Oh.
We were waiting at the chuck wagon, and he did a double take and went, oh, what's your channel?
Oh, that's cool.
And it was like, oh, I can't. It was like the single best ego massage I've ever had. Because I'm there, and there's like other more famous people in the queue who like.
And you got recognised.
And they were like going, who the hell is this? Like, should we know this person? And
obviously, yes. My favourite one I got recently. Do you see the video I did of the Super Heavy logo for Ipswich? So they moved a 300-something ton transformer. It got offloaded by boat and dropped on grid. One of the drivers of the truck, as they had to do a reverse, they shunted forwards, turned the truck around, and went the other way up the street. He got out and was like, Lawrie, love the video. Are you filming this for the channel? He was like, oh, great, I'll look forward to it later. I was like, that's mental. The guy stopped what he was doing of moving the Super Heavy League to come and say hi. Like, that's absolutely amazing. That's made me so happy.
That is great. Absolutely.
It's always, though, like a day like today, it's great meeting people like people coming up and coming to it's lovely, isn't it? It's the best thing about the job.
Yes, absolutely, because it can sometimes feel quite lonely. You're just you and a camera a lot of the time, and you're thinking, I hope people like this. And then when you meet the people, they go, I love what you do. It's very gratifying. You think, oh, well, I'm really glad people are enjoying it.
Because I think as well, for a lot of it, you see numbers on the screen, so you know a video does, you know there are an audience, you know you don't like comments here, you know there are people watching, hello people watching, you know there's people there, you know it's a thing. But when you actually meet a person, it's real. And it's more than just a number on a screen, it's real, and that's cool.
And they come up to you and they're wearing your merch.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool when they're wearing it.
Yes, it's like, my people are in.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing.
Yeah. But I mean, have you done a lot of TV stuff, or are you still YouTube stuff?
Mostly YouTube. I've done the odd appearance of things, a couple of things on the news. I did the thing on. I went and stood next door to. He's going to kill me when I can't remember his name. Tim. I stood next door to Tim Dunn. Yeah, on Secrets of the Underground. That was lovely. Me and Tim are now friends. That's really cool. That's when you know you could have done it when you got that. We swap numbers and you stay in contact. And it's like, I'm friends with the Mr. Tim Dunn. Like, that's cool.
I must admit, I've got in my phone is Dick Strawbridge's personal phone number, and occasionally I look at it and it's like, dare I call? No, I do not want to annoy Mr. Colonel Strawbridge. I will leave Tales of the Chateau for another day. Occasionally I'll email him. Oh, hi, how are you doing? And it's like, oh, he remembers me.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's stunning. I'm very privileged to get to do this. Like, I acknowledge that I'm massively privileged to be able to do this, and I've got people who support me doing it, and people in the audience, and I'm really lucky. Like, some people try really hard, and some people make much better content than I do, and they haven't been picked up as well as I am. So I acknowledge that I'm very lucky.
It is. We joke about all hail the algorithm, but actually it is very fickle. And sometimes you'll see a video and you think, That's the most amazing video I've ever seen. You look at it and it's had like 30 views in 8 years.
It's so crowded now, isn't it? YouTube is so absolutely swamped with, let's be honest, rubbish.
And it's like everybody has a YouTube channel, and it's a bit like publishing. Right? When I was writing books, it was still hard to get published, but because ebooks hadn't turned up, you could still get out there. And then all of a sudden, the Kindle was like the must-have thing, and people think like, oh, that will make it easier. Actually, no, it made it so much harder because anybody can put stuff out there, and you get lost in the noise.
Well, it's like the modern phone, isn't it? Like anybody can film a half-decent video on a phone. You just go, job's easy.
Yes.
Just anybody can do it now. And now it means there's so much out there that's just nicely shot in terms of the device was good, but the rest of it's awful.
And not only that,
nobody understands how important sound is.
Yes. Wind guard. BBC's got a farm somewhere where they just grow them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Terry Wogan used to grab one for his hair from time to time. But yeah, I know what you mean. And it's like sometimes as well, it's very difficult to find a new topic. There's often something you'll film a video and find actually it's like a dozen other people have already kind of skirted around that before. So like actually finding new interesting content.
Jen, I don't have that problem.
Do you?
You've seen how many stupid things I have going on.
Yeah.
That's like my channel's greatest strength and biggest weakness is how varied it is. Whereas you're typecast now into the realm. It's on. If you do a video on, hey, I bought myself a fire engine, your followers are going to be like,
they'll be like, oh, copying Lawrie, we see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Going after the big boy, are you?
I don't know. I just look at it and I just see money pit.
Oh yeah, it is. 100%.
Yeah.
But it's a glorious money pit.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
she's so pretty, Jen.
It's a Dennis fight. So yeah, the ones I remember from my youth.
Of all my things, I go in there and I look at them, and I don't know any unconditional love like that. Just I look at that machine and it's just.
It's like, oh, it's very red. Do you have like period correct fireman's outfits?
I don't for it. I've got outfits for it that came with the other.
Because you know the outfits that you used to wear when your fire engine was a new fire engine. They're like the yellow plastic trousers and the double-breasted jacket. They were firemen turned up really quite smart.
Yeah, it was lovely.
And the big sort of yellow helmet.
I've got the yellow helmets, but mine are the navy reflective kind of ones that
right.
Which are the later ones.
Is that because your fire engine was in use at a private site far later, so it kind of got updated?
Potentially, they came out of the other one, so I don't know where they came from.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's one of the reasons I bought it. I was like, outfits! I can play dress up.
So I'll buy the uniform and just chuck in the fire engine.
But to be fair, the reason I bought it, the other one, because it was rough, was because it's got a searchlight on the back that my Dennis shoot off. And I looked for one, and the best I could find for one without the bulb was 400 quid. And then it had a Coventry Climax pump in it, and I know they go for like 500 quid as a record.
Yes.
And I was like, well, if I just buy these two items, that's already more than the price of the fire engine, plus all the other kit on it, plus the uniforms, plus the fact that you could probably break the truck itself to spares. So I bought it for that reason, and then I drove it home from Cornwall and fell in love with it, because it drove all the way home without any issues.
Yes, it can't be that bad, it made it home.
No, she's sound, she'll be fine, just needs a little bit of, metal glue.
A bit of Bondo.
Yeah, there's so much Bondo in it. Did I tell you, with that one, we scraped off the front, there was a load of Bondo in the front, and somebody got in contact, so it was like, my dad did that. He drove it, apparently they drove it in, like on a shout, drove it in through this gap, straight through, did the shout, got rid of the fire, could not get the thing out, smacked into a lamppost trying to get it out. Like the adrenaline of just getting in, just straight, eye of the needle, straight through. Couldn't get it out. And yeah, he's like, yeah, my dad did that, he smashed the front end in.
Yeah, very proud of that.
He did, he sounded for it, yeah.
Are you aware, on the A19 as you go up through North Yorkshire, there is a Dennis fire engine cab just propped in a farmyard that you can see off there. I don't know if you're... It just reminded me, and I was suddenly...
How do you go past it? What do you think of me?
Well, no, to be honest, every time I went past it, and I remembered the little 3-year-old me sat in one, I go, I'm pressing the button for the fire engine sounded so much better when we were kids.
Everything was better when we were kids.
Yeah.
Proper triangle models.
Wagon wheels were like the size of your head.
Yeah. I had to walk uphill to school though, and when I finished
Both
school,
ways.
both ways, uphill on the way home as well.
Yeah, living in shoebox.
You had a shoebox? Oh, I dreamed of having a shoebox.
Yeah.
Oh, we never had that out there in the
Had
streets.
to pay Miller and foot privilege, and you know if you tell younger today, they won't believe you.
No, they won't. Young youth today they don't know how easy they got it, Jam.
So, is there any TV program that you would love to be a part of? Like, because there's a lot of these sort of like engineering wonders, things like that. You know,
Do you know what I'd love to? I heard Ring Scrappy Challenge is coming back. I would love to do Scrappy Challenge.
Yeah.
I would love. I know one of the old judges from it. It's one of my closest mates.
Yeah, I know Dick Strawberry.
Yeah, I know Mr. Davis, who was the final judge on the
And also, I did work with Hadrian Spooner.
Oh yeah.
Who was a judge on one of the series at least. But he was sort of like, he's the guy who's always, if you see anything really outlandish and stuff like Top Gear and stuff like that, he's normally the brains behind building that.
Okay. I would love to have done Top Gear as well. I would have loved it.
Well, you see on YouTube actually, there's a lot of YouTubers kind of doing their own version.
We do a little bit of education with it, but
Have you ever thought of taking that to the next level and kind of go, like, do a full cheap rent-a-rent challenge or something?
We've done our Lemons things. We've got season 3's about to come out of that, of buying a cheap £500 car and going somewhere.
Today's video comes in association with Trainomatic, makers of DCT decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Additional support is provided by...
This is Clark Railworks, and this is what we do. You'll know us from Ellis Clark Trains, and you'll get the same friendly expertise with us too. We've got a huge range of pre-owned model railways from all your favourite manufacturers, and maybe some you hadn't heard of before. It's the place to come for quality. We don't stock substandard models, and everything we sell is fully tested and photographed by model railway experts. No matter whether you model double O gauge, N, HO or more, we have sought after models from all around the world with new listings added every weekday. Check out what's available now at clarkrailworks.com and don't miss out on your latest loco.
Today's video is sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre, your first choice for finding all of the models featured today at the best possible price at the link in the description. TMC also offers custom weathering and renumbering to any model, be it brand new or pre-owned. Check out their full pre-owned listings too, where you can be assured of quality as every item is screened and graded by professional staff. TMC, the Model Centre, your first choice for all aspects of modelling. I'd like to thank everybody over on Patreon, and an extra special huge thanks goes out to our Patreon heroes. Without you guys over on Patreon, we really wouldn't be able to keep making the video content that you see on this channel. And don't forget that you can also head on over to patreon.com/Jennifer Kirk and check out the different tiers of rewards. Thank you so much. You are absolute legends.